I'm Conrad Bahr, C-Red, and it's time for another Pigskin preview. Today we'll be looking at the 2024 football season for the Gladewater Bears. We'll get right into the preview after this word from S&M Tree Service.
SM Tree Service of Gladewater are the people to call to get rid of low-hanging limbs, trees, or stumps that need to be removed. Locally owned and operated by a Big Sandy graduate, they do it all and been doing it for years. Licensed and insured, they do stump grinding, dangerous or unwanted hanging down limbs, or tree removal. They have climbers and bucket trucks. They guarantee their work. Ask for recommendations. Call Scott at 903-402-9647. With SM Tree Service, they get the job done and done safely.
The Gladewater Bears are under the direction of head coach Jonny Louvier. They're in District 8 3A Division I Region 2. They returned 9 starters on offense and 7 starters on defense. Last year they went 3-8 overall and 3-2 in district. They were also 3A Division I by-district finalists. I had the chance to sit down with head coach Jonny Louvier. Here's my interview with the coach. All right, we got head football coach and athletic director Jonny Louvier. Coach Louvier, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy summer schedule to meet with the radio station and KMOO. Greatly appreciate your time, and this is my third interview with you, so appreciate getting to meet with you again. Before we get started, obviously, we do this every year. We do have new people in the Gladewater community. We do have new people in the KMOO listening area. So to get started, and I know you're a Gladewater alumni, so kind of tell us a little bit about your background within Gladewater, but also tell us about maybe some other coaching stops or your coaching history, things of that nature.
Yeah, so grew up right across the street from where we're at right now, actually. Went to college at Commerce, played football there, started at Art, came back to Gladewater, got my first head job at Frankston. Then I went with Kurt Traylor at Lee, then came back here for another coordinator stop with Barry still. He was the first head coach here that hired me as well. Got the Spring Hill head job and then got the head job here, and I've been back here since. So great place to be. The community really supports us. We're looking forward to putting a good product on the field.
You know, obviously every year you have an off season, you have a workout plan throughout your off season, things of that nature. Kind of tell us about this spring and how Gladewater's been this spring.
Yeah, so it's been a great, which it always starts with the kids, and the coaches have to kind of, not their parents, but we're kind of like that, and we've got to lead them in the right direction. But we've got we have 8 Gladewater alumni that are coaching here, so it means more to them. And going 3-8 the past 2 years has been very, very frustrating because that's not what we want to be. I think our kids have bought in. They've done a great job. Coach Blanco is going to be our defensive coordinator. Coach Spears is stepping up and being our offensive coordinator, so we made some changes there. The kids have really bought into them. They're kind of younger, got a lot of energy. They're willing to make this place a great place, so it's been good to see.
I do want to talk about this a little bit. I know we were talking about this a little before we started this interview, but you guys are headed to a 4-day school week next year. So, and you guys are having Monday off and going to school Tuesday through Friday. So tell us about how that's going to, affect your season and preparation.
Yeah. So it's no different than kids. Like, there's things you can't control. This is what we've got. So we're going to try to make it our advantage. So Mondays will be a longer practice. Our kids, coaches, everybody needs to realize that can help us over the long haul of this whole season, because we can get on the field more than in any other school because we're off on Monday and their kids have to go to school from 8 to 3:30 or 4, so they can't fit their practice in like we can. So we've had to adjust all that, and we're just going to roll with it. This will be the first year doing it, so we're going to do what's best for kids always. So we've got a plan right now, and it might adjust slightly depending on, hey, we need to do this different, or we need to do this different. Same with we got a bunch of Thursday games, so it's kind of new territory for us, but we're not going to make excuses about it. We're going to try to make it as best as we can for the kids.
All right, talk about last season a little bit. I know you mentioned you went 3-8. Not what you guys are looking for. What do you guys just talk about last season a little bit and what you just thought of last season briefly?
Well, we obviously struggled early. A lot of that's due to the teams we were playing. They were very, very good. Not that the teams we were playing this year are not. We've still got a good schedule. We're just we'll still be young this year, but our senior class really is. They've stepped up this offseason. They've kind of led Mason Thompson, Landon Brown, Landon Porter. Those are probably the 3 that stick out that have really done a good job. You know what you're going to get out of them. You're going to get 100% effort, and it's trickled down to our younger kids. So it's going to be fun to see. So we're excited to get on the field and put a product out there that Gladewater will be proud of.
Okay, and kind of expand on that. I know you had, last season, obviously, you had seniors that graduated. You had freshmen that are now sophomores. You now have incoming freshmen that were eighth graders last year. So kind of talk about, maybe somebody from last season that made a big impact, but also talk about some pieces that you're excited about coming back that you're expecting maybe a bigger role from, or maybe somebody that needs to step up and, take a little more accountability of being a leader in your program.
I think the big deal, too, so last year we started a bunch of sophomores. So Carson Cooper, Luke Brown, Brayson Woods, Kaysen Harris, all these kids, they started last year, but they played one side of the ball. Cooper rushed for 1,250 yards or 63 or something like that. But now they're going to have to take ownership, and they're going to have to step on that other side of the ball and help. We're going to play a bunch of kids both ways. Our JV did really good. They ended up winning the district. So those kids are going to have to step in as sophomores. Our juniors that are going to be seniors, they have to – there's not many of them, but it's the same as anything else. Like they don't need to look around and go, hey, there's only 7 of us or 8 of us. Like they got to lead. They all need to get on the field and produce. It's been a process. It's always a process, and it's going to pay off. They just need to – we've got to take every day and not waste a day, and I think we've done that so far this spring. The summer turnout has been better than we've ever had, and a lot of that is on the seniors. Just they show up, so other kids show up. Like if you got seniors showing up, a freshman thinks, well, I got to be here too. If you have a senior that doesn't show up, then the freshman's going to go, well, he wasn't here, so why do I have to be here? It can change the program. So I really feel like we're headed in the right direction.
All right, obviously I know you guys are headed to a 4-day school week, and I know you've been here a few years. Is there anything in particular this offseason you might have done differently than you have done in years past, or anything you'd like to expand on that maybe the community may not be aware of?
Really, the biggest thing has been, for me, is I've let other coaches do more and input more, and we've kind of tag teamed a lot of stuff. I think as a head coach, you want to do everything yourself, and you can get so spread out. Like you got your admin duties, you got this, you got that, and we have a coach that leads the talk before we warm up, and then we got another coach that steps in, and his only job is to lead the pregame warm up, and then we got another coach that's going to step in and lead the warm up, and then my job is just to make sure they're doing a great job with it, and they are. And then your kids it's not always me or this one coach just talking to them, so it's really sold us out as we're buying in. We had one coach retire. We had a coach that came back that was already here, and Coach Lewis. And we've added a few extra coaches, but they were extra not. We didn't lose coaches, so I truly believe the kids will feed off that and know what we're preaching to them is going to happen. It's been a struggle going 3-8, and it's hard to keep kids motivated to keep working hard. But when you have the same staff that stays together and unites, they're more likely to believe in it. We're not bringing in like 7 new coaches every year and going, oh, same stuff. It's the same guys, and we're trying to do the same thing, and we know we got to win, and we're going to. So,
all right. I know you were talking about additions to the staff. Can you kind of expand on the additions to your staff this year and talk about your additions and how they're going to benefit your kids?
Yeah, well, 2 of the big ones, they've already been here. So Zach Spears is going to step into the offensive coordinator role. Quarterback at Gilmer, he's been around good programs, coached at the college level. He's been here as an assistant, but he's earned the right to be a coordinator, and I rewarded him with that. And he's doing a great job, unbelievable job. And then Austin Blanco's the same way now. Austin played here. So actually when I came back here in 2014, he was a linebacker, phenomenal linebacker, and nobody's going to outwork him. So those 2 guys are a staple of it. And then Quentin Thomas is a Gladewater graduate, Josh Yunt, Kevin Clark, Andy Reynolds. The list goes on of Gladewater guys that are willing to be here. And then bringing back Jermaine Lewis was big. Jermaine's just so good with kids. He's also good with the AD stuff that I really, really suck at. So it's kind of a good balance. We just got a great balance right now. It's just a great place to be. People like showing up to work. Yeah, I don't think you see that much on teams that came off 3-8. A shot to our school board. Our facilities really, really are pretty bad. Conrad would confirm that. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
We make it as good as possible. Like it's like, hey, this is what it is. My desk, like this door barely opens and I can't get into it, but that's an excuse. So we're making it as great a place as we can be, and we want that for our kids, and our kids are feeding off that. I truly believe that. It doesn't matter. We could be outdoors under a tent and have this same coaching staff, and we could be successful. So it's about people. This is a relationship business. I think we have the right people in place. I know we have the right people in place, and we just got to go. It's still a result-oriented business. Like, we got to win games. Like, that's the bottom line. And that's our goal, and we're set on it, and we're going to do whatever it takes to do that. So.
All right, Coach, this is a redistricting year. Obviously, you'll have a different non-district schedule than you had in the years past. I know you had a perennial powerhouse non-district in the past couple of years. Now, tell us about your non-district in this coming up and what your thoughts are. Also, tell us about maybe some opponents Gladewater hadn't seen too often or maybe hadn't played in a while that may be on the schedule. And also talk about your district. Obviously, this district will be different than last year. So tell us about it.
So, when you schedule games, like the last time we were scheduling games, we're coming off 4 rounds, 3 rounds, 2 district championships. Nobody wants to play you. And the competition is good, and we still tried to keep that. But we also, when you're coming off 2, 3, and 8 seasons, you have to take that into account and really go, okay, what's best for the kids? The teams who are playing, there's no knock on them. It's not, Dangerfield, they played in the 5th round last year, and that's a rival that I remember sitting in the stands when I was 8 years old watching us play Dangerfield. So that's a great way to start the season and kind of see where we're at. So, like, we've put a lot of focus on them. Just like if you can play with Dangerfield, you can play with a lot of teams around here. And then New Diana is kind of up and coming. Coach Pitts, I know him. That's kind of how we actually have known each other for probably 7 or 8 years and got that game started. And then West Rusk, Coach Mata does a great job there. Spring Hill, Coach Jocelyn was my DC when I was there at Spring Hill. And it kind of all pieces together, Spring Hill runs a very similar offense to what Tatum's going to run. We're scrimmaging North Lamar. They were running a similar offense of what Tatum was running. Their coach left. And so I don't know what they're going to do now. It's very strategic as far as that goes. And then we know we're going to get in a district and have really, really good teams. We got Jefferson, Atlanta, Tatum, White Oak, Sabine again, and then now Liberty Ilo's going in there. Liberty Ilo has not had much success the last year. The teams they're playing and the teams they're about to play now is going to make a huge difference. So if anybody thinks they're not going to be a contender for this district championship, they are either smoking crack or not very smart. It's going to be competitive every week, and you have to go out there and play, and that's the bottom line, and that's the way it should be. So I think East Texas as a whole, you can drop down a division or drop up. It really doesn't matter. You still have to play. It's just it is what it is. You could be Henderson's supposed to drop down, and then they stay up, and then everybody's like, well, if they dropped down, they'd been better off. Well, if they drop down, they got Gilmer and Pleasant Grove and Pittsburgh, and they stay up. They still got some good teams, and then you got Pine Tree down in there. It doesn't matter where you go. You're going to be in a dogfight every week, and you got to prepare yourself for that in the non-district. So
now on your schedule, I know you have scheduled more Thursday games this year, typically than you have in the past. So can you kind of expand on why you did that?
Yeah. So West Rusk and Dangerfield, those were kind of preset. Well, actually, Dangerfield, we've always played them on Thursday. That's kind of me and Coach Nelson there. We like that because we're scrimmaging on Thursday, so it makes sense. Now, West Rusk, got asked or whatever to be the game of the week. And then the other two, Jefferson and Tatum, both coaches there and myself had talked previously, and it was kind of the way that official draft works. It's depending on where you fall in that draft. When you're 3A, you're picking later than, 6A is picking first, then 5A, then 4A, then it's 3A. And we just wanted good crews. We didn't want it. You don't want a game to get decided by something you don't feel great about. And it still might. You never know. I think officials' job is as hard as our job, probably even harder. It's probably one of the hardest jobs. Gets critiqued. I wish fans and even coaches would lay off of them a little bit because it would help. There's a reason there's a shortage. We've got to do our job and make sure we know that, hey, they're going to miss. They're human. I'm going to make a bad play call multiple times a game. They're going to make a few bad calls as well. And we've just got to treat them right, or actually just treat them with like a human being would be really good start. Some coaches just are a little over the top, in my opinion. I try to do a good job with it, and I still struggle with it, but I've got to step back. And it is a huge factor that's affecting football at this level. And that's why we've decided to go to some Thursday games to just try to get the best crew possible, and I think we've done that. So,
All right, Coach, any final thoughts for the Gladewater community and KMOO?
No, I mean, I think we've covered everything. We're looking forward to this year. Our kids are. We've had a great summer turnout. I mean, our kids are ready to start next. They're even. You take for granted kids read the same things you see on, the websites and stuff, and you think they know we're starting August 5th, and they're like, we've already passed out equipment to kids that have been coming, and they're like, so we start next Monday, and I'm like, no, you gotta wait one more Monday, but they're ready to get started, which is a good thing. And we, as far as our varsity goes, like every kid's already been here. We've been working hard at it, and we're just ready to get going. So,
all right, Coach. Well, thank you so much, and good luck this upcoming season, and we will see you guys very soon.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks, Coach. The Gladewater Bears will begin their 2024 football season at home versus the Dangerfield Tigers. I want to thank head coach Jonny Louvier for taking time to sit down with us for this preview. I also want to thank S&M Tree Service for sponsoring this Gladewater Pigskin preview. Monday, we will begin our next Pigskin preview with the 2024 football season for the Mineola Yellow Jackets, brought to you by Gas and Supply. I'm Conrad Bahr, C-Red, and you've been listening to the Butler7media Pigskin preview for the Gladewater Bears. Thanks for listening, and have a great evening.
SM Tree Service of Gladewater are the people to call to get rid of low-hanging limbs, trees, or stumps that need to be removed. Locally owned and operated by a Big Sandy graduate, they do it all and been doing it for years. Licensed and insured, they do stump grinding, dangerous or unwanted hanging down limbs, or tree removal. They have climbers and bucket trucks. They guarantee their work. Ask for recommendations. Call Scott at 903-402-9647. With SM Tree Service, they get the job done and done safely.